Okay, back again. Oh, boys and girls, how about it? The Bills won. They were picked to lose, in fact, and they won. I'm looking forward to big things out of them next year. I like E.J. Manuel. I think he needs some little line assistance. But I think that the Bills you're going to see kind of the Bills of old, hanging tough, winning games. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if they don't win out. They play Miami and New England. Why not? Beat Miami earlier in the season, I believe they did. And they lost to New England, I think, by 3 points. So it's entirely possible that what would that make them? Make they're 5-9 now. That would make them 7-9. They're not going to make seven. They're not going to make 500. But I think old Ralph, hangs on long enough. That man's got to be 100 years old. I don't know how old he is, but he is not a kid. Lots older than me, and I'm pretty old. But if he'll open up those purse strings next year and get some real impact linemen, you're going to see a Bills team like those back in the 90s. They're going to be tough because they've got some talent down there. So, go Bills. Now, this evening, as they say down here in Texas, I was looking at my Facebook, and I had written on there yesterday that I had been looking at the radar for the Randolph, Little Valley, that area, or the weather forecast rather, and the temperature was like 12, and the forecast through this coming Thursday was for snow. So I asked, I said, hey, is it snowing? Is there any on the ground? Boy, did I get answers. One of the answers told me that they had gotten 50 inches of snow in Perrysburg. By the way, this is for the folks up Siegel North. I know I have a bunch of people down here in the south that watch my stuff, but at the moment I'm addressing my boys and girls up Siegel North, and for, just for a point of information for the folks here at Siegel South. But 50 inches. Now, I grew up in that country. You go to bed one night, and it's the grass is out there, it's all muddy because it's been raining, and whatnot. And you wake up the next morning, snow's knee deep out in the yard, and the rails off the porch, you got big piles of snow on them, and the trees are hanging down and everything. But that's 12, 14, 18 inches of snow overnight. 50 inches. 48 inches is 4 feet tall, and I'm only 5'7", so that means that it snowed about up to here on me in one day. I've never heard of such a thing. So I thought, boy, that's gotta be a typo. So I got on the phone and called David Berg from Little Valley. David says, no. He says, it's coming down. He says, it's coming down right now. You all know that David's had a pretty good session with lymphoma cancer, but he's still hanging in there. Hanging in to the point where he's out shoveling snow off his roof. I don't know, it's been 8, 9, 10 years ago. I was up there, we always go up there and go to Siegel North during summer. Went over to David's. And he had a carport over there that was held up with, David correct me, but I believe with telephone poles and 6x cross members. I mean, this thing was a heavyweight dude, and the snow had just crushed it. He had a 82 or 83 Chevy Caprice wagon. Beautiful thing. It was under there. Crushed it down. But David went, spent the money and had that thing restored, and it's still sitting there in his driveway. I notice he doesn't put it under the carport anymore. But tonight, earlier in the evening, when I talked to him on the phone, he was preparing to go out there, shovel the snow off. He said he'd done, I guess, a time or two today already, out there shoveling more. So evidently the 50-inch thing is not a typo. I think they said it was 36 inches in 36 or 40 in Little Valley. It's just snowing. I've been watching the radar. In fact, I'm looking at it now, and then of course you got the snow belt coming off of Lake Erie, and that thing extends. That's Allegheny County. Yeah, it extends from the lake over there at Chautauqua, where it's, Dunkirk, Chautauqua, Fredonia. It's coming off the lake there, goes right across Cattaraugus County, right across to Allegheny County, and then it kind of plays out. I think that's Wyoming County, the next one out there. And it doesn't seem to go any further, but I noticed up on Lake Ontario up there at Oswego and whatnot, same thing. On the end of the lake, yeah, the east side of the lake, snowing. I don't know if they've gotten as much snow as 50 inches in one day, but evidently there is a passel of snow coming down up there. And like I say, I'm looking at it right now. Tonight's supposed to be 14 degrees snow. Tomorrow, 19 degrees in the daytime. Snow. Tomorrow night, 7. Snow. Tuesday, 27. Snow. Wednesday, 26. Snow. Thursday, looks like for now they got it forecast overcast. But you guys and gals up there in Siegel North, you get those snow blowers out, and for those that haven't got them before, you're going to have to get the shovels out, because it's, gee whiz. This thing's clicking and clattering. I don't know what's going to do. It's probably going to go ka-doom in a little bit. It does that every now and then. What is it doing? It's, well, anyway. So, snow. Of course no, it's not. I was going to say it's winter, but it's not winter. I don't think it's winter up there for another few days or a couple of weeks. No, it wouldn't be a couple of weeks. That'd be into January, but it hasn't actually turned winter yet. You're still in the fall. So what's it going to do when winter comes? Anywho, snowing like old Billy Nell up there. Let me see what I got here. I got my cue cards. Can't remember what I'm doing. Well, for those of you that knew him, a very good friend of mine actually he lived in Houston, Texas, but he's from Ridgeway. I know that I associate with Siegel North, Randolph, Little Valley. Little Valley was the old Little Valley Central. Went to school there. But I actually graduated from high school out of Ridgeway, PA, Ridgeway Centennial High. And one of my very close friends over there was a gentleman by the name of Glenn Roof. And Glenn passed on. I tried to call him on the phone, and I kept getting, well, initially I was just getting, answering thing. This was some months ago. Here about a week ago I called. Phone number's no longer any good. In fact, I called his cell phone number and I got some guy, Myron Morford, he didn't know who Glenn was. Yeah, Glenn died during the summer while we were up at Siegel North. And that's a shame. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. There's been a little politics in Washington, D.C., it appears that the Republican Party has finally had their fill of them teabaggers, because they, Paul Ryan, who's I believe the head of the House Ways and Means Committee. I could be incorrect about that, but he's into the financial thing. He has made some draconian suggestions in the past about what they ought to do with Medicare and Medicaid, and you've probably heard me go on here. If they did that and cut out my dialysis money, it wouldn't last very long. Well, anyway, Paul Ryan seems to have changed his tune, and he came up with a budget. And believe it or not, the thing funds Obamacare. It replaces a lot of the funding cuts that were done to the military on this, what is the name of that thing? Sequester. You remember Sequester? Well, the Republicans, and they were the ones that were just hammering it, You had to have this sequester so that we could get cuts in, what do you call those? Welfare programs, but that's what you call them. Entitlement. Yeah, get cuts in the entitlement programs. Well, evidently, these guys, their public image has dropped so much because of the shutdown they did. They created, they don't take credit for it, but here that shutdown that happened here a few months back, they got credit for it, and they know they did. So they said, well, there was an upcoming financial thing, I believe in February, where if it had played out, it would have essentially done the same thing, would have shut the government down, whatnot. So Boehner, Speaker of the House, boy, I saw him banging his gavel, talking, and essentially what he was saying was, the teabaggers need to get their head out of the dark side and start doing some sensible things. I think I actually heard him say, "You gotta be kidding," pertaining to something that the teabaggers wanted to do. Good for him. It's about time these guys got some sense. I mean, we have had years and years and years of just gridlock in the government because the Republicans, at the behest of the teabaggers, have just, if Obama said the sun was up, and it was 3 in the afternoon, they said, nah, it ain't, it's middle of the night, and we'll shut down the government to prove it. Well, it appears that, at least for the moment, that's passed, and that's good. Tea Party's losing its grip. It's about time. I'm hoping Tea Party loses some of their seats in Congress when push comes to shove here. They start going down. Yeah. Right on here, we have to cooperate to get along. We've always had, it's been a two-party system, sometimes a third one come along. We had the Bull Moose Party back when old Teddy Roosevelt was in, and even now you got the Teabaggers. There's been an occasional third party come up. But the one thing that was constant over all those years was that those people had to get together, and for the welfare of the country, they had to do what was right or cooperate with each other. And what I think that the Republicans realized that if they want to continue to be a viable political entity, they're going to have to learn to cooperate, at least at some extent, with the Democrats, and it looks like they're doing it. Like I said, this budget that Brian put out, Paul Ryan, even has funding for Obamacare included. Boy, and I mean, who'd have thought that? I mean, I think they've had 60 or 70 votes to try to repeal Obamacare. in the House. Democrats control the Senate. So if they vote in the House to do it, go to the Senate, it couldn't happen. But maybe that garbage will stop. Hopefully so. Oh, yeah. Bills won. Good stuff. That's the greatest thing's happened, and I don't know when. And Manuel, I think, will be the leader for a good many years. I don't know. Tiana wants me to. She bought me a new computer. Now this will be on the old computer. And the new computer has got Windows 8 on it. And I'm a little apprehensive about it. But my old computer has Windows XP. And I've been told on pretty good authority that starting in May of 14 that Microsoft is going to stop supporting at least some aspects of SP. In other words, you'll get an email or you'll get a streaming something or other, and it won't work. So my darling bought me a new computer. It's a pip. Got half a terabyte hard drive. I think it's 500 gig. I mean, it's a monster. But one of the things I'm a little apprehensive about is that this has happened in the past. I've had a computer change. Put the thing in line, fire it up, and all of a sudden something on your menu won't come up, won't work. You know, the software is so outdated in relation to what you have on your new computer that it won't work. And I've used this JVC video camera, and it has software that came with it that's in old Reliable down here. And I'm wondering, I guess I'll find out when I find out, but I tell you one thing I won't do is I won't throw old Reliable away, just in case. If it doesn't work, of course, I can always stick this for my prognostication. Sure, I can always stick this thing, plug it in, and use this, for my, I can't imagine, well, as of May, it might not work, because if I couldn't get into Facebook with it, I guess we'll see. I'm gonna have the software on the new computer, from the old computer, transferred into the new computer after the first of the month, and then I guess we'll see if it'll work. If it doesn't work, I might have to go out and buy a replacement for Tilly here. I've had Tilly for a long time, and this thing has really stood me. I don't know what that was. The screen's gone black. It does that. No signal. No kidding. Anyway, might have to go out and buy another camera. Different software that'll match that Windows 8 thing sitting there over there on the shelf behind me. Anywho, beautiful day today. Absolutely gorgeous. I sit here and I look at the, I guess, blizzard conditions up at Siegel North, and it was mid to high 60s today here at Siegel South. It was kind of mushy. We've had a pretty good, we had that ice storm. Whew, boy, did we have an ice storm. Now, it wouldn't compare to 50 inches of snow, but it was, for us, it was a real traumatic thing. Took the power out, busted trees down. Those of you that have looked on my Facebook site, you'll see that pecan tree over here just down to the ground. In fact, the leaves are off of it now. I don't think the old dog will ever recover. It really, it's ruined, as they say here in Texas. But weather's been good. Had to put a new battery in my car today. Went out the other day. I mean, we had some days. It got down. I want to say it got down to 15 here out a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, I went out to go to dialysis one morning and hit the key on that Kia. Now the Kia's an '09. I bought it used up there in Siegel North. year and a half ago. So for all I know, that battery was original equipment. But anyway, I turned the key, had to put the charger on it. It fired right off. And I drove it. Once I got it fired off, got it running, it ran. Of course, never got that cold again, so it didn't drain it down. But I went down to Wally World, buy me a new battery. Now, the last time I bought a battery at Wally World, I think it was $42, tax on it, and it had a fee, a reclamation fee of some sort. Thing running about $60, $65. You know, well, I figured it'd be about the same. Fooled me. For other battery, I think I could say the last time I bought a battery a year or so back, it was $42. This one was $84. That's without the reclamation fee and the tax and all that. I mean, that's 100% increase in a year. Boy, they talk about there not being any inflation. I mean, that's 100%. Evidently, inflation must be striking me alone, because every time they give the report for the economy and the rate of inflation, hey, it's nothing. Well, it's something, because that thing went up 100%. Hope everything else doesn't do the same thing. I'll be a poor man. I ain't rich anyway, but that'll make you poor in a hurry. Let me see. Hang on here. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me see. I had a couple of things I wanted to read. Jerry Jones hints at a new defense tactics for Sunday's game. He sure did. They lost. Oh, by the way, the Cowpunks lost tonight. They were ahead 29-6 or something like that at the half. That could be incorrect, but it was that kind of spread. Green Bay came out and took them and beat them. I call them the Cowpunks. The Dallas Cowpunks. When the Bills lose, I call them the Buffalo Boobs, and the Cowboys win or lose, they're the Dallas Cowpunks. Well, they were the Cowpunks today. I mean, they really were. Old Mr. Romo, I don't know if you know. He has a very, very bad habit of throwing interceptions late in the game. Through 2. So he's up to his old tricks. Tea Party favorite faces long odds in Senate race. Good for them. Good for them. Yep. Let me get off here in a minute. Let me see what else I got. I might have something worth yapping about. Oh, yeah. Approval of biology textbook is delayed. Evolution continues to be a sticking point in the Board of Education. These guys down here in Texas that are on the Board of Education want creative, what the flip is that called? Hang on. Something. Why can't I find it? Yeah, they want theology taught in science books. They want in the schools of the state of Texas, and probably the rest of the country, because Texas is so big that there are other states that use the same school books as Texas, because, like I say, Texas buys so many of them that the other ones just go along. They kind of use their Texas's opinion on it as a benchmark. And Texas wants evolution continues to be a sticking point on the state board of education, and they want evolution not taught, and they want the biblical idea that the world started 5,000 years ago. They want that taught here in this country. So, pretty stupid if you ask me. Anywho, I'm rambling. Carrying on. Go Bills. Got 2 games to go. All my friends up there at Siegel North. I hope that snowstorms are just snowstorms, or they were when I was a young man and lived up there. Yeah, you didn't get too worked. It could snow. There'd be places where the drifts would go right over top of houses. People didn't get tore up about it. They just shoveled their way out, and the plows came in and cleared the streets. And maybe you'd be in the house for a day or so because the plows couldn't move. The snow would be so high. But as a rule of thumb, within a day or so, everything kind of back to normal, and and I'm assuming that that's the way it'll be. We talked on the phone. Be more precise, my wife talked on the phone to a couple of lady friends of hers up there, and they're a little unhappy with it. They go out and shove the car off. A couple hours later, they got to go out and shove it off again. But usually people have food supplies. Water pipes are buried deep enough in the ground they don't freeze, and it just works out. They're prepared for such a thing. But 50 inches? Who's prepared for that? Anywho, I get off. Appreciate my time. Brian, have a good one, guy. Brian was in here to see me a couple days ago. Crystal, my sons Carl and Kyle, love you both. Tracy, Heights and Raider. Duke and Texas A&M are playing in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Who ever heard of the Chick-fil-A Bowl? I think that was the follow-on to the Orange Bowl. I'd have to look it up to be really precise. But anyway, Duke, or Mr. Heitzenrader, is employed. He's a fellow down there at the School of Theology. About a half smart guy. Pretty smart. But anyway, I challenged him tonight on the internet. I told him that if Duke beat A&M, I would buy him a Chick-fil-A, order fries, and a bonus Big Coke. I'm going to send him the money, or if I don't know what it costs. I'll get down here at Chick-fil-A, and I ought to get down here and have it put in dry ice and just ship to him. But I'll send him a 7-Eleven money order or something, something. Anyway, A&M's going to win, Dick. Ike, hope skiers don't get you. Glenn, bless his heart, I'm going to have to scratch him off the list. He's the one that passed on. Daryl Mackey, hope all's well with you. Call David. He had to have a couple of transfusions here in the last couple of weeks, so he's doing all right, but with his medical situation, it can't be the best thing to have transfusions. Tyler, Carl up in Bradford. Yeah, I don't know how much it's snowing in Bradford, but boy, up there above you in those snow belts out of Chautauqua County and into Cattaraugus County flat is snowing, or so I'm told. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Jim Kersey, be damn glad you're out there in California. I'm damn glad I'm here in Texas. Anyway, I think I've carried on long enough. Thought for the day and all that stuff. And everybody up there in the Siegel North, stay warm.